There is no neutral ground. You either stand up to be counted, or you are complicit with evil.
And I want to finally thank the government for bringing forward the conversion therapy bill again. And I speak as a gay Christian who can't wait for this government to finally outlaw conversion therapy. Everyone, LGBT or otherwise, deserves to grow up and grow old being who they are, without the threat of disgusting, outdated and hopefully soon to be criminal practices labelled as conversion therapy.
Now, in the short time that I've got left, it would be remiss of me not to touch on the conversion therapy ban, something that's been talked about for a very long time, and I'm very pleased to see it in this Queen's speech this year, because young people, straight or gay or bi or trans, should be free to live and love as they wish to, supported in that by the government. And that means banning conversion therapy, this abhorrent practice, finally banning it, not just for under 18s, not just for people who are part of the LGBT community, but for everyone, for the entire LGBT community. And certainly I plan to continue my engagement with government to make sure we get the right legislation on this abhorrent practice.
Madam Deputy Speaker, growing up is not just about getting good exam results, a great apprenticeship or a job. It's also about becoming a rounded adult, confident and secure in oneself. That's why I'm delighted to see the inclusion in the Queen's speech of the conversion therapy bill, which will ban, frankly, evil and abhorrent practices which are intended to change sexual orientation. We all need to be free to love who we want to love. For too many of us, it took too long to be able to do that. Too long to accept ourselves for who we are, and too long for others to accept us. Let us hope that this bill will be another step to enable today's young people, today's generation, to feel safe and secure in acknowledging and expressing their sexuality.
I welcome the government's commitment to conversion therapy in the Queen's speech, banning conversion therapy in the Queen's speech, and I would gently push the Treasury front bench to remember that we, in our original promise, did include trans people, and we should include all LGBT people in that conversion therapy ban.
I note you want trans included in the ban. In the last few years, there has been a 4,000% spike in underage gender dysphoria referrals. This can be accounted for by online groomers and activist school counsellors. I have two further questions for you. Why do you want to lock people up for undoing the effects of child grooming? Do you have any concern that if children can consent to change sex, they will be allowed to consent to have sex? The full email is below. The first part is to Lords and MPs who only are in favour of the LGBT conversion therapy ban. The second part to those who want to lock people up who try to stop children from being chemically and surgically mutilated. There is no neutral ground. You either stand up to be counted, or you are complicit with evil. Let us continue.
The member for Chester gave a tub-thumping speech, rightly asking where the employment bill is, the promised employment rights that have failed to materialise. He also made a powerful argument for a full ban on conversion therapy. If this is to be the best place in the world for children to grow up, it's absolutely right that we ban this abhorrent practice. It is not therapy in the slightest, and I pay particular tribute to the members for Bishop Auckland and Birmingham Northfield, who highlighted the importance of this being an LGBT conversion therapy ban, and I applaud them for making that case on the government benches. And as the member for Birmingham Northfield rightly said in what I thought was a very entertaining speech, today this country has already become that little bit better place to grow up in, thanks to the courage of Jake Daniels becoming the first male footballer to come out since 1990. It really shouldn't take courage in this day and age for a footballer to say that they're gay.
Through the Conversion Therapy Bill, we will continue our commitment to ensuring the safety of individuals by bringing forward a ban that protects everyone from attempts to change their sexual orientation. Recognising the complexity of issues, we will progress work to consider the issue of transgender conversion therapy further. Our actions to protect people from conversion therapy extend beyond legislating. We will deliver a support service for victims via a contracted helpline and website, which will provide initial pastoral support and signpost to services such as counselling and advice about emergency housing. This support service will be open to everyone who has been through or are going through conversion therapy, regardless of background or identity.
My Lords, banning conversion therapy is absolutely the right thing to do. However, excluding trans and non-binary people from the ban and thereby allowing conversion abuse to continue to take place to two groups of people with protected characteristics is not.
When they leave school, hopefully, they'll be both literate and numerate. And I'll just finish on one point. It was Baroness Brinton who inspired me to call this when she said the gay conversion therapy bill needed to have transgender included. No, it doesn't. Oh, no, it doesn't. I've got to congratulate the government on supporting the CAS review. Somebody at last has looked into this and has realised that giving out puberty blockers as though they were sweets to young people from an early ages of 11 or more, it's the wrong thing to do. So I support the government on that. I thank my noble lords for listening, and I hope I've given you something to think about.